Let's this is going to be your how-to video on how to slaughter chickens. You wear your face mask. No, I'm just joking. It's going to do it on chickens for you, but it's not in the chicken killing season. So I decided, since it's been this quarantine time and we're stuck at home, I've been milling boards. So I thought it'd be a good time for you guys to see Alaska Sawmill and how it functions and what you need to do with it and all the stuff you need. And we'll mill a couple boards and that to show you. I got one on the go right now, so I'll talk you through it and explain what I've done to make it work. And we'll see if the wind holds and if you can hear my voice okay. So, anyways, we will try this out and see how it goes. Okay, so first things first, when you're looking to get an Alaska sawmill, you gotta figure out what size of lumber and logs you want to use. You can get them clear down to 16 inches all the way up to 6 foot long sawmills. And what they basically are is a framework that mounts to your chainsaw that helps you slide to make boards. So this is where a lot of people go wrong. They pick the wrong size of saw to use. The CC of a saw is very important with this mill. If it's too small, it will burn your saw up because you're ripping wood. The chainsaw is meant to basically cut the wood in half, chop it up like firewood, like cutting lengths. Where this is ripping it with the grain board length. So it's really hard on the saw. So you got to make sure you invest in a real good saw when you're doing that. Just for a model here, this is a 45 cc saw still. You can pick these up for about 500 bucks or so. Get them on sale on that. Great working little saw, but that is great for cutting up for firewood. Not good for ripping for boards. It's just way too small on it. So the wind's going to blow my computer over here. So yeah, you want to make sure you go with a bigger saw. I've known people who have used 70 cc saws, and that's still too small for. I, on the other hand, picked up a 90 cc saw for my sawmill. They run about 1,500 bucks, so they're fairly expensive. But if you have a woodlot and you want to make your own boards and that, it does pay to have it, and then you have no troubles cutting up any big trees that you may need at all. So anyways, I'll pick up my big saw here. It's a little awkward and heavy, but so this is all mounted on my sawmill. That there is a 390 Husqvarna. So that's a 90 cc saw. That's a big saw, that color. What makes actually is not that heavy. The saw itself has a 2 foot bar on it. Where this one here, that one there has a 16-inch bar on it. Um, but with the Alaska sawmill, which is what's mounted on this thing, with that not attached to it, that Husqvarna is actually fairly light saw and it cuts really nice. It's lots of power. You can go through a pretty big tree with that without it bogging down or pinching or anything like that, or binding up on you. So it has a lot of power. Um, yeah, when you're looking at that, you just gotta understand what you want to do with it, what type of trees you want to cut. I've never milled hardwood with it. I've only done softwood. I'm thinking it would be really hard on hardwood to go through it. Sometime if I could find a log that is decent enough, I wouldn't mind trying it. With the chainsaw, you have to get ripping chain. There's just a regular chain for the chainsaw for cutting up like firewood, like I said, or cutting a tree down. But this one here is a special one where instead of the teeth on an angle, they're cut flat, so it more chews through the wood and spits it out. It's a lot different types of sawdust. So here I use a little saw just to cut in a couple knots off. So it made it quite stringy like. That's with your regular type of chain on it. So with the regular chain, that's the type of fiber you'd have. Whereas with the other one, it's more fine. Yeah, just a nice fine looking saw to it. So sawdust. So the teeth just make it a lot, it's more made for cutting that type of stuff. You can use a regular cutting chain, but it's a little more harder on the saw. It binds up more with all the shreds and that of the wood fibers. So it's best to stick with buying a ripping chain, and they usually around about 30-40 bucks for a ripping chain. And I bought that probably I think it's 2 years now. I've had it. I've ripped quite a few boards, anyways. I don't know how many. I never sharpened it or changed it yet. I'm actually going to go get a new chain just in case this one just totally stops working altogether. But going through softwood like a cedar or spruce or fir, pine, any of those type of trees, it cuts really nice. It takes a while. You have to rock it back and forth. You see as I get cut in a demonstration that you have to keep working it, and it's a good physical workout. But you smell some good afterwards. I tell you, she's good for the ladies. They like that wood smell. Anyways, uh, yeah. So that's the types of saws you need for that. Um, and around here, you're not gonna get into much bigger than 2 foot butt on a tree. Um, you can doctor it up with the saw. You can spin it so you can cut it to make it work better. So you can actually mill a perfectly sized timber instead of just like a live edge board, which is what I'm making now. So you can doctor them up nice so they actually look like a full beam out of it. So usually the best size for these parts in Atlantic Canada, 2 foot. 2 foot would be fine. You can get 2 foot, 3 foot, and all the way up, like I said, to 6 foot. Smallest you can get 16 inches. So I went with the 2 foot size. Picked up a 2 foot bar for my saw, and then yeah, put the ribbon chain on and bought the sawmill off of. It was just basically some foreign. It's called Farm Tech is what it was all on the internet. I've been researching them, trying to figure out where the best one to get, and every single one I was looking at, they're running about $300-400 for this 2 foot mill. And I think, wow, that's fairly expensive, but it's worth it if it works. So, anyways, I kept looking, and then I think it was Amazon. I went on, or eBay or something like that. Went on anything. Anyways, this 2 foot Alaska sawmill popped up. Looked just like all the rest of them. So I was like, jump. It was only 180 bucks American. And I was like, and all the rest of them were American prices too. So you're spending $300 American, you're up to almost $400 Canadian or whatever. So anyway, so I ordered it quick up. It's Farm Tech, it's called. I was like, okay. So anyways, ordered it, shipped it out. It came to like $210 something delivered to the house, so it wasn't very much. Anyways, I was got researching it, and it came from Japan. This fix, I was a little worrisome in that. I said, oh no, it's going to fall to pieces. It was the quickest thing I've ever seen ever come in the mail. It matter of a couple. It was like I think 5 days. 5 days it was in at my house. That's a quick. It got left Japan. It got to my house, so it didn't go for any quarantine. But it made it pretty good. And yeah, once I put it on, put it together, and tightened everything up, it's a rugged unit. Like it was well built. So I got no complaints with it at all. A couple of little rubber pieces are popping off, but that goes with everything. But all the steel, all the bolts, everything is very good. Knock on wood, it's still working. So anyway, so I just keep tightening those up and that. But yeah, so if you're in the market of looking for something like this, it's not for someone just to buy for fun. It's if you're planning on doing some barns or anything like that, or camps of yourself, or if you have a little wood lot, instead of buying a big wood miser mill with a bandsaw, and after cutting your own lumber, you can actually use this to do it. Like I said, it takes time. I'll have to pause it in mid cut because it takes a couple minutes per board to rip through. Just takes time doing it. You can see my chickens and hear my ducks and turkeys all gobbling that in the background, so I apologize for that. But anyways, no, it's yeah, it runs pretty good. It's for a Japanese made type of thing. It's running really good. So just always make sure you research all your products that you want to use and see what everyone's ratings and that are. So on the sawmill there, like I said, comes you gotta mount it right onto your bar. Uh, So there's instructions on how to do it. You gotta make sure you have it mounted the right way on it. On the bottom there, you have it. So there's like a thickness guide here on the sides that you will adjust with these half-inch nuts on it. Loosen those up, and you can adjust the height of it. So this will actually rip a 14-inch piece of board. So or basically a beam. You can make beams out of it. So you can go 14 by 14 with a beam. Well, technically 14 by 24 inches if you wanted to. Although it's a 24-inch cutting thing, the only amount you really get to cut is probably about 16 inches out of it. So it's pretty small that way. So yeah, all you need is half-inch wrench in that, and you can adjust all your heights of your settings. When you're making sure you're putting it on, down here on the end, try to see if I can see in that the stung in my throat. So down here on these little nuts here, these are pinching on your bar. Make sure that you do not pinch anywhere near the edges where your chain is, or on the very end. There's the circle right here. I don't know if you can see here, but right in this spot right there, there's a little wheel that spins your chain. So that was the first time I put it on. I slid it too far out, and I thought, oh, this is great. But I put it too far and I pinched the wheel on it, so it wouldn't allow the chain to move freely. So I had to back off and adjust it a little bit more. So always make sure if you are mount one of these, make sure your chain can move nice and easy on it. Slides back and forth nice. Just the other day, I pinched the chain on it down at this end of it too. It was pinched off, so I had to make sure I do adjust it and make sure it was going nice, because it will just not work if you don't have it going. So anyway, so make sure you're using those type of things on it. When you're doing the checking for, make sure when you're going to start machining that you have your gas and your chain oil all filled up. So when you're doing chainsaw gas, of course, there's like some lawn mowers and that. You're gonna have it with, roll over. Gonna have it with mixed gas. So you're gonna have 10. Get that up a little bit. You're gonna have it 10 liters of fuel to one of these little bottles here. So it's basically it's a 50-to-1 bottle or whatever. I like to go 10 liters to 1 or whatever. So when you get 10 liters, you pour one of these bottles in, and it works out really well. Yeah, that way you don't have to guess with a little bottle or a bigger bottle. You can buy these little ones like that, and you just pour that into your gas tank. Make sure you're right mixed on it, so you don't throw it into a lawnmower that doesn't need it, or a tiller, or any of that. But you can use that stuff with your weed whackers or in chainsaws and that. So make sure you do that.